Good morning, it's Tuesday the 18th of June 2019. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom talk coming to you from Bracknell in Berkshire on a morning that none of the chats are working. Oh dear, just a moment, let me try and restart that and see what happens. I've got no chats coming up in the little screen over there on the right hand side. Oh, well, that'd be interesting. I don't know whose chats are going to get through and who's not. None of the Facebook ones appeared. Fortunately, I've got the other window up on the other side so I can see direct on the Facebook. But it does mean I've got to watch myself. Oh, hang on, I think I can pause myself. There we are. I've paused myself. I had to change my shirt like 30 seconds before I started this morning. I'm sorry it's a bit creased. That's because I quickly put this on. I was just sitting here ready and I noticed a small piece of breakfast was just above my breast area, pointing here, right about here. So I had to suddenly I did have a lovely maroon t-shirt on this morning, which has now been thrown down the stairs and is waiting to enter that wonderful machine known as the washing machine later on, boys and girls. So there we are. So I changed my shirt. Don't want to look nasty for you in the morning, do I? You don't want some old tramp sitting here like Jeremy Corbyn. You just imagine waking up to that in the morning. Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, no, thank you very much. LaBelle, you won't know who he is. He's some dirty old tramp who wants to become Prime Minister. Dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Well, the weather looks all right at the moment. They say we're going to get another deluge in rain, particularly up north where I would normally be today. But I've got a little job on tonight at work, which I hope is going to go well. But I'm a bit concerned, which I'll come on to that in a moment. Let's say hello to some of you this morning. Mike Reese-Ponto, good morning to you. YouTube people, if someone's on YouTube there, could you send through a message and we'll see if they get in here. I'm not sure that any of them are getting here this morning. I don't know why that is. Okay, Mike Reese-Ponto over there on the Facebook, good morning. Diane Jeb, good morning to you. And Adam the Plumber. They're the only three I've got there this morning. If you've sent a message and that hasn't been read out, it's not got to me. None of the message. I don't know why that is. Can I try something actually? Do you mind? Can I just try something? And see if I can get them through another way. Right, 1 second, my darlings. I'll be with you. Restream chat. Is that it there? Restream chat. Where are we now? Oh, log in. Okay. Yep, he's got the password right. Oh, yes. 1 moment. Chat box. There we are. Let's try and open it in the browser and see if I can see them that way. Okay. Right, later. Right, we'll see what happens now. I've got another box open as well. Actually, I could test it myself, couldn't I, really? So let's just... So if that comes up on either of those, that may or may not work. I don't know. Well, fingers crossed. We'll see how we go. I got it completely wrong yesterday. You remember yesterday I said I was going out to meet my friend Richard, who I meet up with about once a year now. I used to DJ at a place called the Black Cap, and for a while he was assistant manager there. And once a year now we meet up. So I'm sitting. I finished the show yesterday. I'd done a little bit of washing, done a bit of gardening, watched a little bit of telly, and I'm looking at the clock, and it was like 12:30, and I'd arranged to meet him at 1 o'clock. At about 1 o'clock, just up at the Starbucks in Sainsbury's, just for a cup of tea and all that, right? So 12:30 come, and I thought, I wonder where he is now. I'll give him a ring to see how far he's got. So I rang the phone. Ring, 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 ring. Oh, hello, Richard. How are you? All right? Yes, he says, I'm fine. I said, how far have you got so far? He said, well, what do you mean, how far? I said, well, what are you doing now? He said, well, I'm just sitting here watching the telly. Oh, are we not meeting at 1 o'clock? And then the phone went quiet. And he said, have you got your days wrong today, Chris? Oh, because I don't make a mistake like this, and neither does he, right? We're of old school. If we say we're going to be somewhere, we will be there, right? And he said to me, I think you might have. And I'm like, what day is it today? He said, it's Monday the 17th. I'm meeting you on Tuesday the 18th. Right. And I had no reason to not believe him, of course. Why would he lie? And I thought, oh my God, and we're laughing down the phone. It's not a mistake I made. If I say I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time, I will be there at a certain time. You know, not like that. Who's that one who pulled out the Isle of Wight festival? Jess Glynn, was it? Apparently she's not turned up a few times for a concert. How rude is that? Apparently, according to one of the papers, I can't remember which one I saw it in this morning. She's popular with the youngsters, Jess Glynn. Great artist, great voice. But, not turning up at places, I think is just so rude and disrespectful for the people that are paid to come and see you. Apparently she was out partying with someone or other. I can't remember who, but I'll always be there. So we got that completely wrong yesterday, and a bit of a wasted day. Shame. So I came back and I watched a bit more television. I watched another Chernobyl. I think I'm at episode 5 now. Very good Chernobyl. Right, so none of those messages are coming through at all on the chat system this morning. I can see the Facebook messages, but they're not in the right place, so I can do those. There are no YouTube messages at all, or Periscope, or anything, so I don't know what's happened there, gang. All right, I'll leave it open just in case it starts working, but I can go over onto the other screen. I can see Adam's typed in testing, and a very good morning to Adrian Richardson, who joins us as well this morning for the show. Yeah, I did my gardening yesterday, and I did my reds washing. Never put red stuff in with everything else. It ruins it, dear. So I did my reds washing, and that was about it. I sat in the living room, and I rang up about my broken microphone. Remember the microphone that was dropped the other week? Well, I rang up about that, and I said, could you let me know if my microphone's coming perhaps today or tomorrow, please? Anyway, this woman, she said she couldn't help me because the service department were busy at the moment. I'll take your number and call me back. And I thought, well, that's a waste of time. Oh, look, now we got Junket Pumper. Now that's working on the message system. So we got Vaughan Live messages coming through. Okay, Vaughan Live messages are coming through, I'm pleased to say. Morning to Ray Reynolds this morning, who did an excellent... I think that song you sing, When, by the Kalin Trees. So upbeat and nice, isn't it? I like that song very much, Ray, so thank you for singing that last night. That was very nice. Yes, so she said, I'll take your number and get someone to call you back. And I, as soon as they say that, I lose all faith. You know, how many companies ever call you back? They say, I'll take your number and call. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. I've got a little issue, not a technical issue or anything wrong with it. I've got something wrong with the paperwork for the new car at the moment. And I've been leaving messages there for 2 weeks. I'm just going to turn up to, maybe tomorrow. I'll just turn up tomorrow at the garage. Oh, hello, Chris. How are you? I've left some messages. Oh, sorry. It'd be sorry. Didn't get around. Not once they've sold it, they're not interested, are they? You noticed that? Once they've got your money, they're not interested. So I gave them my number. I waited 2 hours. And then I called them back. And I got through to the people that I was waiting to get the number, waiting for the phone call from. Sennheiser, that is. Sennheiser. Anyway, she says, oh, it's out for delivery today. Oh, right. Okay. Well, thanks very much. That's all I wanted to know. And I put the phone down. And literally 5 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. Not actually a knock on the door because I've got a bell. Ding dong! I've got one of those Ring video doorbells, which are fantastic. Open the door and there's this bloke with a box standing there. And it was a long box. I thought, it's my microphone come back. All repaired. So I signed his little thing. You know, they got electronic things, a bit like large iPhones now, haven't they? When you sign something, they give it to you. You have to use your finger now. It doesn't always work for some reason. So I signed that. Opened the box and there it was, my old microphone fully repaired, or I hoped, because I couldn't test it here, right? Couldn't test it here. So I thought, well, that's a result today. I'm happy now. I've got my broken microphone back fixed. And that's it. Had a little bit of a sleep in the afternoon. The journey into work was absolutely dire yesterday. It was dreadful. Another 2 hours. It always takes 2 hours to get from Bracknell to Berkshire. Do you remember when I first started doing that job at Central Station? Do you remember it must be about 4 or 5 years ago now. It never used to take 2 hours. It was about between an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 45. It's now 2 hours every single time. Terrible. That's coming from Bracknell. You know, it's a dreadful drive. Fortunately, I generally only have to do it once a week now on a Monday, although I've got to do it twice this week, tonight and for the Drag Idols semi-final, which is like a talent competition for people who want to be drag queens. Okay, so I've got that tonight. No, not me. I don't wear women's clothes, dear. It's not for me, dear. You know, a butch, very manly. That's me. You know that. So that's that, and of course Friday as well for the karaoke on Friday. So I've got to do that trip twice this week, which I'm really not looking forward to at all. But nevertheless, there was one bloke at this end, actually, not far from where I left my house, and I've gone on the main road, and I kept hearing this car hooting beep beep all the time, and I'm looking in the mirror, I can't see anything behind me. Anyway, so I got then to another road, and beep beep, and he's right behind me now, and look, it's BMW. And he kept hooting. And what on earth are you hooting for? Right? And he was doing it again. I've gone over a roundabout. And he was doing it then to a van. And eventually he came right up behind me. So I put my brakes on. Just touched the brake pad to make the red lights come. Then he hooted again. Right? So then the idiot. So then I slowed down, which makes the lane on the left going... there was a van there, so he couldn't, but it looked like the van was going faster than me. So he swapped over onto that. At that point, I've dropped back a bit. I opened my window and I gave him a piece of my mind, dear. I had road rage yesterday. I was fuming. Old bloke it was. Must have been about the same age as me, something like that. Old bloke has got this BMW. I screamed out what is your bloody problem, mate? I used much worse words than that. Much worse words than that. Why are you hooting everyone? It's like this. I don't like that. Go on, mate. Anyway, so then I put my foot down, got round the van, and then I carried on. Off I went. What is wrong with people? Desperate to get from A to B all the time. I don't know what's wrong with them. Ray Reynolds, there's been a burst water main repair at Eversalt Street all the week, so I expect to use the back route. No, I didn't use the back route, Ray. That's the thing. The back route is not always necessarily... faster than the other route. I've got this sat-nav thing and it tells you where the traffic is. And you might be sitting in traffic for, God knows, 20 minutes or so. But even so, the sat-nav has determined that particular time on that day is the best way of getting around. So you've got all that other traffic going up that way as well to avoid the water main. So a lot of people will be doing the back rate as well. So thank you for that. Are you going to try and stream the Drag Idol tonight? Mike says. I have asked permission. No one's come back to me. He said he'd get back to me. He said he wanted to speak to the committee. Oh, God blimey. A committee. That's all we need. So probably the answer is no to the Drag Idol. But we'll see. You know what committees are like? I don't get involved in any sort of committees. Be a group of people sitting there arguing all the time. No, thank you. And they're all the same. Professional committees, committees at the BBC, church committees. They all sit there moaning their heads off. I'll be the last person to ever moan. I'll tell you that now. Dunkett says BMW drivers, 99% predictable. Yes, they are. It weren't even a young bloke. That's a sort of aggressive driving that you expect from a young man. He wasn't young at all. He was about my age. He must have been maybe a little bit, just a touch older. But what an arsehole. Beep, beep, beep all the time because he can't get through. Wait your blooming turn. Dear me. There was some terrible driving Saturday night. That was again on my way into work this week on the A40, which is like a flyover. Right, there were it was a busy road. There were 3 cars darting in and out of that at warp speed, I tell you. So dangerous. And I'm not being nasty, but sometimes you watch these guys and you want them to have a crash. Is hopefully into each other and not someone who's not involved in all this racing going on. See, there I am. You see, that's the thing. I drive slowly. I do drive slowly. I drive certainly no faster than the speed limit most of the time. If not all the time, actually. And I drive on the inside lane. And when you're driving slower than most people on the road, because they're all breaking the limit, all of them. When you're driving slower than most people on the road, you see all this going on. You absolutely see all this. I get lorries up my arse, flashing their lights like that. I saw that again last night. I came back on the M3. And there was a section of the road that had roadworks. So we got 2 lanes. 4 lanes at that point, 2 are closed, the red X's in the boxes. So we're all pulling over there. So I'm on the inside, so lane 3, and lane 4 there's a car. There was a car going a little bit faster than me, not much faster than me, who would come on, and he had a lorry right up a couple of inches from his arse, and I'm thinking, well, he can't be doing any faster than the speed limit. This lorry is egging him on to go faster, bullying him on the road. The lights are flashing and everything. I thought to myself, no, don't break the speed limit. You'll be the one that gets the ticket. And the lorry, foreign lorry it was. I don't know what it said on the back, PL or CZ or something like that. God, I shouldn't be allowed on our blooming roads anyway. Good morning to John Aitken. Good morning. John doesn't like the pineapple jacket. Well, I put this on for Claire this morning. I don't know if she's there. I'm not sure that YouTube messages are getting through at all this morning. There seemed to be a bit of a problem with the message system, okay? But one of those things there. Good morning, LaBelle. Morning, LaBelle. My emerald eye mush of love. That's me. Emerald eyes. Emerald eyes. Oh, dear. Excellent. Let's have a look. Adrian says those lorry drivers should be ashamed. They have a drive called the sales. They are supposed to be professional drivers, aren't they? Lorry drivers are supposed to be professional drivers, but a lot of them, especially the foreign ones, they don't stick to the speed limit. They tear along there, don't they? Oh, most lorries, aren't they restricted to 56 mile an hour or something like that? LaBelle loves the pineapple jacket. Thank you. Available from Amazon. Oh, no, I think it was from Rosegal. If you ever want to look for jackets, only about 20 quid, $30. ROSEGAL, rosegal.com in China. Take a few weeks to come, but it's worth the wait, for the cheapness of the things. Anyway, so it was a busy Monday at the karaoke. A lovely night last night. I found a very stressful night last night. There was a couple of things that weren't working. Number one, I couldn't get the repaired microphone to work. Now, the microphone, to explain it to you, so you've got a microphone, no wires, okay, so radio microphone and a receiver. And the two have to be paired up, right? Well, obviously, they changed the channel when they repaired it. And I couldn't get this damn thing working. I've got no instruction book with me, and I'm trying to work it out. There's only a couple of buttons that you can press, and I'm getting really stressed out. As well, this is while I'm setting up, right? As well, people are coming up, and understandably, they want to come and talk to you and say hello and things like that. And I think, oh, please go away. I'm trying to sort this out. And oh, gosh, I'm getting more and more stressed out. Anyway, we started the night. Eventually, I had to swap over back to the wired microphone, so it's got a wire in. And we're starting. And of course, while they're singing and you're trying to get that working, as well as keeping an ear on the sound and the lights that are going on, people moaning that you might have missed them out or something like that. There's always one of those. And, I found it incredibly stressful last night, which was a shame because it was a damn good night. A lot of people there. 23 singers, I think we had last night, which is very good for a Monday. And lots of non-singers as well. You always need non-singers in the pub to make it a night. So eventually I got it working. So I was pleased. And I swapped it over and that worked fine. So the radio mic is now working again. So the night went on, but it kind of puts you on edge when I have a technical thing not working. And then end of the night came. We had the last singer. Thank you very much. Good night. Pushed up the fader where the background music comes on, and there's no music. And I thought, well, where's that music gone? I looked down. It comes from a CD player, which is next to me. I'm looking at the CD player. The little lights will indicate the volume. They're called level meters. They're flashing up like that. Little green lights are flashing up, indicating that there is music coming out of it, but there was none. And quite frankly, it was a good job I wasn't going up to North last night. I would have been in pieces because I like to be out that door as quickly as possible if I've got that 3-hour journey to go up to Lincolnshire. But I wasn't going last night. I thought, well, I want to get this going because this is the CD player that we'll be using tonight. And as you know, tonight is the national semi-finals of Drag Idol. So I want all this stuff working. So I'm tracing wires through, I'm pulling wires and looking at buttons, and I'm pushing various different buttons, trying them in a different plug socket. Not a thing. One trick I use is to take the audio lead. So leave the audio leader in the mixer. That is the device that all the sound comes into, and then you decide what sound you want push it up, and then you would hear it in the audience, you see. So I take the audio leads out of the CD player and I just touch them like that. And you should get some sort of buzz or a click. Beep, bzz, 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 bzz. And I could hear the buzz. I thought, right, okay, well, it can't be that. The sound's going in there. Must be something to do with the CD player. And I tried buttons and I was so stressed out. It was unbelievable. And then people are coming up and wanting to talk to you as well. Oh, God. And I left there with a bit of a headache, really. I stayed until about 20 past 11 last night, which is late. I'm out there by 10 past 11 at the absolute latest. I want to be out as quickly as possible to go on my long route. You know, I've been standing there 3.5 hours and I'm trying to get this thing working and it weren't having it. And then our lovely manager, who I get on with so well, Guy, came over. I said, this CD player isn't working. He said, I know. He said it wasn't working earlier. That's why we were playing the music from the telly. They had, earlier on before I started, they had Magic Radio, which was plugged into the back of the telly, and they got a lead from the telly, which comes on. So they had that on. I said, well, when did this break down? He said, I don't know. He said, I came in this morning and there was just no music coming from it. I said, well, it was working Saturday night when I used it. I used it Saturday night, and then when I left it on, playing out background music. Once I finish on a Saturday, usually sometime between 11:15 and 12 o'clock, whatever time the show finishes, I leave, you see. And then I leave with that on, and it's got a pre-made, which I made myself, pre-made mix of music on there. I said, well, it must have happened last night. Yeah, I said, you better get the DJ last night, ask him if he's pushed a button somewhere. I can't find where it is. Now, if I can't find what's wrong, it's likely that the thing is dead. But it was weird because the lights, the little level indicators, are still coming up on the actual CD unit. You know? Isn't that strange? It's very strange and mysterious. So I came away there. I couldn't get it going. We had to put the television back on with the background music coming out of that. Couldn't get it on at all, and I've kind of left that in the manager's to sort out at some point today. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't have a CD player to take in. You see, I've got rid of those ages ago. I can't remember. Actually, I'll have a look on the computer to see if it's got a CD drawer, and in which case a workaround would be to load the CDs onto the computer and play them out like that as MP3s, you see. But so I was incredibly stressed at the end of last night. Incredibly stressed trying to sort this stuff out. But it's one of those things, you know, and I got back and it carried on all through the car. I thought, oh, God, I've had enough of this. Anyway, I came back. I made some dinner when I got in. And when I had acid as well. I had acid reflux last night as well. Because of the pizza that I had Sunday. It goes on for ages. It's gone completely at the moment. It's not a problem at the moment. And came back, I'd done some dinner, and I watched an episode of last Sunday's episode of Gentleman Jack, which I've told you about. It's an excellent series on BBC One Colour on Sunday nights, also on the iPlayer. And that relaxed me a bit, and then I went to bed, and I've slept all right last night, so I can't complain too much. But I'm a bit concerned about this CD player for tonight, because we really do need it. I'll go and get my laptop out in a minute. I can't remember if there's, because I don't really use CDs anymore. I'll see if there's a CD drawer on that and whether or not it works. If you are on YouTube watching this morning and you're typing in messages, I'm afraid I'm not getting them at all. There's no Facebook messages coming in on the message system, although I can look at another screen for that and get them in that way. But there's no YouTube messages coming through at all this morning, so I don't know what's happened there. Okay, over to some of your messages coming up there. Good morning to... Oh, let's just scroll back a bit. John Aitken, good morning. We had a lovely week in Nottingham. Yeah, I was in Nottingham, actually, John. That's where the hospice is that my little great niece goes to, Olivia. The Rainbow Hospice in Nottingham. It's actually quite a nice place, Nottingham. There's some beautiful countryside there as you drive through it. But there's some rather complicated roads. I find the roads a bit complicated, or the roundabouts there. I mean, maybe because I'm just not used to the roads there. Morning to Robert Dexter. Wake and bake for me. Are you baking something, Robert? What are you baking? What are you baking? Adrian, Chris at the karaoke, you didn't call me up for the song for some strange reason. What happened? I was really upset. No, I decided that you probably can't sing. That's the truth, Adrian. I didn't want to embarrass you in front of all those people when you open your mouth, dear. I don't remember you putting a ticket in. Did you put a ticket in, Adrian? What were you going to sing, dear? Mike, you don't get stressed out, do you? Yes. Yeah, I do, and it will always be a technical thing, and you're doing something. If you're doing something, I'm probably all right if I'm left alone to do it, but I find technical things very, very stressful. In the house, if I go downstairs and the washing machine work, that will do my head in until it's working. I had this. Do you know? I had this with a dishwasher a couple of years ago, and it was my birthday. And I put this dishwasher on, and it wasn't working. And I got really. And then my mate arrived with the most beautiful birthday cake, and I said, "Oh, just put it over there." I just couldn't handle. I can't handle technical things. I would rather give that job to someone, but of course, there's only me. All right, Mark, can you go and sort that out, please? Nope, there's only me. I've got to sort it out. I get really stressed out. Computer problems do my head in. JP's on the YouTube. Good morning, JP. YouTube messages do appear to be working then. JP's in house. Good morning, John. Yeah, really stressed out with technical things, Mike. But, sitting here while... How can I put this? While I'm doing a show, if something goes terribly wrong here, it will appear that I'm cool, calm and collected, usually. And similarly, actually, probably while I'm at work. But if I'm trying to sort something out and then people want things, that's when I get really stressed out. They demand. It's almost like a demand sometimes. I demand that you do this now. I demand that I want this now. And you're trying to fix something because if you don't fix that, something might go completely wrong. It's like... Sometimes people are singing, right? They're singing, and then there'll be someone come up at the front and try and have a conversation with you. And it's just impossible because if I have that conversation, and it's like, like sometimes you're walking around the pub and people like to say hello. Yeah, I get that. And I try and say hello. But if they go into like a deep, meaningful conversation, you can miss when that person's going to sing. And then there's a gap. And it does happen sometimes. It does happen because you don't want to walk away. You don't actually want to walk away, but you have to. Because if you don't go back to that stage, everything stops. It's like when someone's singing, again, they're singing next to you there. Someone's trying to have a conversation down there. I can't hear them properly anyway because the speaker's there and they shout louder, which interferes with the person singing, And it's very, very difficult. Very difficult. Because if you don't pay attention to who's on the stage, you can miss and they can finish and you might still be having a conversation. I know a bloke who does that. He's an old bloke and he chats up the young girls. He does karaoke. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Right? He chats up the young girls and he gets so involved in this. He never gets off with any of them. They're far too young for him. Early 20s and he must be about 65, 70. But he's a wonderful bloke, actually. He's a real character. And he gets so involved in the conversation. And he's right. And the singer finishes. He don't notice. He carries on with the conversation. How funny is that? Just a reminder, gang, if your messages aren't getting through, you can always text in. The text number works. It's up there on the screen. 07551 259 675. Okay? 07551 259 675. Good morning to Dr. SOS Gregorian. Morning to you. Katie Ann Patterson in the house over there on the Facebook Live. Morning to you. Adam drives 450 miles a week, and I drive a large transit van, and I see so many stupid drivers on the road, always in a hurry, who don't plan the drive. Yeah, I think, if only people left a bit earlier. That's why I leave so early. For a 7:30 karaoke, I leave here at 4:30. Seriously. Now, tonight, we got a real problem tonight. Number one, Ascot is on. Now, Ascot is in the area that I live, okay? Right? So, the traffic will be heavy anyway at the time that I want to leave. Not only that, I have now found out that South Western Railway are going on strike today. Now, this will bring even more. Good morning, Ray. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, the YouTube messages are working. Thank you very much, Ray. Much appreciated, my friend. All right. So that will bring even more traffic onto the road. So I'm a bit concerned tonight. Now, show time tonight is 8 o'clock. I like to be there about 7:15, 6:15, 5:15, 5 o'clock. Now, 5 o'clock is very busy on the road. So I think I'm going to leave at 4:30 again today. If I get there at 6:30 and I have to sit there for an hour and a half, that doesn't bother me, you see. I must get to places on time. I'm old school. I must get to a place on time. Otherwise, I'm really in the traffic. You know, when you've got like 20 minutes left and you're sitting in traffic, oh God, am I going to make it? I hate feeling like that, and it's stressful. It's stressful. I mean, you must avoid stress, my dears. We must avoid stress. LaBelle, microphone receiver work, very informative. Oh, don't, LaBelle. This thing is like a box, and it's just not interesting. The old radio mics were so much easier. Okay, so you'd have your microphone and your receiver, and there would be like little switches on it. So if number one switched down on the microphone, you have one on the receiver, and that matches them up. It makes sense, doesn't it? If you have number two, you also have number two on the receiver. Just make sure the numbers match up. Not anymore. Oh no, you have to go for all sorts of menus, push this button and hold it for 3 seconds, wait for that light to go red, and they just make things more and more complicated. Now, LaBelle, no disrespect, but you're not a young, pretty You are pretty. I'll take that back. You're not a young person like perhaps my little nephews and things like that who can pick up a computer and work them. We can't do it, dear. It just become so complicated. I don't know how some of these women and men operate washing machines. Have you seen some of those? Oh my God, push this and push this little digital display. No, not mine downstairs. Mine, you push the on button and you just turn the dial. Program 2, 3, 4, 5. So simple, dear. So simple. Unlike the radio mic I was trying to sort out. And to be quite frank, I did sort it out last night, probably by accident. I had no idea what I was doing last night. No idea. Morning to Matthew Van. A very good morning to you, Matthew. All right, welcome to the show, sir. Adam, if you're stuck for a CD player, do you have a spare DVD player? I've got a Blu-ray player. Oh, that's an idea. That might be an idea, which I don't think I ever use it. My mate bought me a Blu-ray player for my birthday, got about 5 or 6 years ago. I said this to you the other day, and I've got this stack of CDs and DVDs. They don't get watched. The lovely Ray Reynolds has given me loads of DVDs over the years. And I haven't watched a single one of them. They just sit there in a pile on the shelf, along with the ones that I bought from shops. I stopped buying DVDs years ago. It's just a waste of money. Don't ever watch them. Good morning, Joanna. Over there on the YouTube. Good morning, lovely Joanna. All right, darling. John, the roads were awful in Nottingham. Even the sat-nav was confused. Yes, mine too, John. Mine too. There was one bit where I had to leave a main road, but it said like on the sat-nav, you know, in 0.3 of a mile, like that, right? So this road came up at 0.3 of a mile, coming off the main road, and that's where you had to leave it. But according to the sat-nav, it was another 0.3 of a mile, and then as you go along the road, you realise it was actually that one. Very, very confusing roads in Nottingham. Very confused. The Doubletree Hotel is fantastic. Doubletree, is that part of the Hilton Group, the Doubletree? I think it might be. It might be. Let's have a look. Oh, no! Adrian says, I've got some serious bad news. Absolutely terrible. Devastated, very upset, and incredibly devastated. Such a serious matter. I don't know how to tell you. Valerie's Pastry Cake Shop. Before they collapsed, they were using margarine, the cheap stuff, instead of butter in their products. Why did they run out of money? Yeah, because of cutbacks. Is that right? They used margarine instead of butter. I think margarine is a very unnatural product, isn't there? There's all sorts of stuff in that, isn't there? Margarine. Awful. LaBelle, it's not complicated when you ask the right questions to people who fixed it. Yeah, but there's no one to ring, LaBelle. 10 o'clock at night. There's no one to ring. Or could you help me set up my radio mic, please? Which would have been my next step today. If I hadn't got that going last night, I would have brought it back here and then rung up the helpline. I hate ringing helplines. Oh, you are 5th in the queue. Oh, Christ. Don't you hate ringing helplines? We never had to do this, LaBelle, years ago. You just plugged something in and it worked. Blooming menus and all that business. Oh, it's dreadful, dreadful. John, it's a Hilton hotel. Thank you very much. And no, you don't need your mum to come round and show me the washing machine. I can work my own washing machine, thank you. It's just simple. Everything is washed on 40 degrees, actually. Everything. It all uses the same program number 4, I think. 40 degrees. Everything gets washed. You don't need all these buttons on washing machines, non-crease this and do this, that and the other. Thank you very much. Good. Anyway, that was my night last night. A very, very, very stressful night last night. And one of those things, I'm afraid. Right, what news stories have I got for you today? Domino's. The robots are coming. I keep telling you this. We're all going to... Well, you'll lose your jobs. According to robots are coming, boys and girls. In Houston... is that Texas, Houston? Domino's could be putting some of its delivery drivers out of a job this year by rolling out a new wave of robot delivery vehicles in Texas, California. No, not Texas. In Texas. That's it, Texas. The robot vehicles, made by the well-funded autonomous driving startup Nuro, are entirely self-driving and can cart their cargo, in this case Domino's Pizza, in the vans. Once the robot arrives at its destination, customers must meet the vehicle and use a special pin provided to them upon ordering to unlock the hatch and collect their delivery. Oh, that'd be quite nice. I bet they'd be heated as well. You'll never get a cold pizza again, will you? I had a pizza Sunday night from Domino's. Oh, it was lovely. Oh, cheese and tomato, pineapple. Mike don't like pineapple on pizzas, do you? It had pineapple and it had onions and it had red and green peppers. Oh, and free garlic bread. I'm not keen of cheese on garlic bread. And if you're having pizza with cheese, obviously, then you don't want cheese on the garlic bread as well, do you? And people put cheese on chips. Oh, no. How many calories are there in a bag of chips there? And you want to put cheese on the top as well? God's sake, man. I can feel the arteries hardening as I'm sitting here talking to you. It says, unlike other commercial self-driving vehicles, many of which are geared towards either transporting passports or larger goods, Nuro's robots have decidedly lower footprint. All electric, I suppose. Are they electric? Does it say? Don't say. They must be electric. They don't look. It looks electric. How electric cars have got a certain... Well, I say they don't actually anymore. But old... You remember the old electric cars before they were even invented? There was a certain, square look to them, wasn't it? And it looks like one of those. It's called an R1, about half the size of a normal car. Travels at speeds of about 25 miles an hour, making them less likely to hurt pedestrians or other vehicles in the event of accidents. Since there isn't room for human passengers, Nuro's cars are also capable of stopping on a dime, risking a little, it was a little penny thing, risking a little cargo damage as opposed to serious injury. So that's great. You're going to make your pizzas in Houston delivered by one of these things. They deliver about 3 million pizzas a day. Wow. I don't find them particularly cheap, Domino's. Their pizzas are on the expensive side. I think the pizza I paid, pizza and so-called free garlic bread, they come out to about 20 quid on Sunday. When you can go and buy 3 pizzas from Aldi for like 4 quid, or even the really posh ones from the Co-op charge a £5. But of course it was at my mate's house, so no cooking facilities there for me really. Morning to Russ Philip Vernon. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. John's not impressed by the pineapple, are you, on pizza? No pineapple for John on pizza. Mike says his mum used stork margarine. I remember that. I remember the advert. There was actually a stork in the advert, wasn't it? One of those birds with the long, thin legs. She used stork margarine back in the 70s. Couldn't afford butter. Didn't seem to do us any harm. Yeah, true enough. I looked on YouTube, Adam. I looked on YouTube on how to do this with the radio mic, but didn't seem to be anyone. It's a Sennheiser XS Wireless 1. You have a look. How do you match up the channels? See if you can find it, because I couldn't find one. In fact, I couldn't even find it on Google. You're looking for the manual for the thing, because I didn't have it with me. And I couldn't even find that last night, even on the Sennheiser website. If you type in the type of microphone, Sennheiser XS Wireless 1, and manual, all it does is bring you up a list of parts. Absolutely useless. Couldn't find out how to do that at all last night, but we got there in the end. Adrian, pizzas from Lidl and Aldi, they use palm oil. Palm, which is very bad for you. It's like turbocharged heart attack. 10 times worse than butter. Oh, dear me. Even Marks and Spencer's had it in their Cornish pasty. Have they still got it? Cheap, cheap, cheap. Yeah, you've got to make everything yourself. That's the only way to do it, dear. Make everything with your own little hands, dear. And be done with it. All right? Amazon. Are you overeating, boys and girls? Amazon may have the answer for you. In this morning's Daily Mirror, it says, if you have difficulty controlling your cravings for junk food, mine is crisps, you see. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I had a bag of cheese and onion crisps last night. Terrible. Terrible. It says if you have difficulty controlling your cravings for junk foods, then it may be time to consider a bit of self-administered shock therapy. Yes. Amazon is selling a bracelet that claims to help you break your bad habits by administering a 350-volt electric shock. Every time you reach for the biscuit can. Won't that kill you? The shock can be self-administered using the button on the wristband, or it can be activated by an external sensor connected to the app on a paired smartphone. You want to give the app to your other half, so every time they see you're eating something, your friends and family can also download the app to keep track of you, and if they see you've been eating too much, they can zap you remotely. I can't believe they're selling this on Amazon. It doesn't just work for junk food. It can be used to break bad habits, ranging from smoking and nail biting to oversleeping, according to Pavlok, who's the manufacturer. As well as delivering an electric jolt, the bracelet can also beep and vibrate. So, if, for example, you want to wake up earlier, you can set an alarm within the app. Pavlok will vibrate gently around your wrist to rouse you. But if you ignore it, you'll be zapped with an electric shock. I love it. Some people are into being electrocuted, you know. Oh, yes, dear. I go past the lady just down the road there. When I go past her flat, I look in sometimes through the window, and there she is, plugged into the wall. Please don't do that at home. You will die. You can also link it to your bank account so you get a shock for exceeding your spending limit, or use a DPS sensor to deliver an electric shock if you don't go to the gym. It quickly conditions your mind to associate an unpleasant feeling with your bad habit and stopping it altogether. So there we are. You'll be getting that on Amazon at some point. The battery has the capacity for over 150 tiny electric shocks on a single charge. They say the inventor says it's not as powerful as a shock from a taser. That's what we were. Let's go just straight to the tasers, I think, and be done with it, dear. Just there's not enough volts. Not enough volts. It still delivers enough voltage to make you jump. It feels like if you were to touch a doorknob after rubbing your socks on a carpet. Oh, I get that a lot. Oh my God, look, how much is it? £193, that is. £193 to get an electric shock and feel uncomfortable. Why would anyone want to pay that? Is that going to right? Is that ever going to right? Is that ever going to work, rather? Good morning to Christy. Morning, Christy. John's craving is chocolates. Oh, chocolate. Funnily enough, I was at my mate's house on Sunday night and he had chocolate. He said, do you want a bit of chocolate? I'll have it. Now, this was Waitrose milk chocolate, right? I hadn't had chocolate for ages. Well, about 2 days. And I opened the bar. This was after the pizza. I thought I'll have that pudding. Opened the bar, started eating. It was vile. Absolutely horrible it was. It didn't taste... It tasted like it wasn't milk chocolate. Do you know what I mean? I didn't like it at all. Bitter. Bitter. Oh, no. Chocolate Galaxy and Hershey's chocolate. That's American. That's horrible as well. You ever had that? Hershey's chocolate. Vile. Nope. Got to be Galaxy or Cadbury's chocolate. That is the only chocolate that you should be eating, boys and girls. Cadbury's or Galaxy chocolate. Waitrose chocolate, milk chocolate from Waitrose, absolutely vile. Has anyone else tried that? The Waitrose chocolate. I wonder if Claire's tried it. Claire's not with us this morning, I don't think. But horrible. Waitrose chocolate. Adrian, can you read this out? Who like to contribute to a crowdfunding for that bracelet for Chris for his now biting, overeating, being late, not going to the gym device? We all can control. Oh, yeah, you'd love it, wouldn't you? You'd all love the app with my bracelet. I wouldn't be able to sleep. You'd be electrocuting me all day long, dear. I don't like electrocutions. I did get electrocuted twice as a boy. Yeah, I had this record player and it was plugged in and I had the top off. I was doing something. Oh my God. Very dangerous. Lightning strikes are not good either. Do keep away from lightning. What else have we got here? I told you, did I tell you the weather forecast? Britain is braced for yet more flooding. As severe thunderstorms threaten to bring torrential rain and hail over the next 2 days. I don't think that's here, actually. Oh, it might be. Yes, it is. It's a large area, starting at the top in Hull and going right down to Portsmouth and Brighton. I know Mike's in... Mike, are you in Portsmouth? I think you're in Portsmouth, aren't you? Can't remember now. Over as far as Birmingham and right over to Norwich. A very, very large area of possible thunderstorms and all that. Very worrying. Well, maybe if it rains hard enough, it'll keep the killer hornets that are on the way. Bzz, bzz. Hornets are coming, boys and girls. And they are horrible things. I've got a picture of one in front of me here, then. Don't look nice. In this morning's super soaraway sun, fears are growing that Britain could be hit by swarms of deadly Asian hornets. Be afraid. Be very afraid. I've seen a hornet. One flew through my kitchen once. They're big. They're big. They're about an inch long. That's 2.5 centimetres for the millennials who have no idea what an inch is because you haven't lived yet. Oh, I'm a millennial. Oh, what's an inch? Why does he talk in inches? I find that really offensive. I just don't like millennials. I'm sorry. That's how it is. Fears are growing. Britain could be hit by swarms of deadly Asian hornets this summer. If a sting victim is allergic to the venom, I like that word, venom. Can you speak venomously? They could go into anaphylactic shock and die, often within minutes. Keep away if you see one. The hornets have arrived in larger numbers on Jersey, a location that is their staging post for flying to the UK. A lady on the Channel Island said 13 active nests. Morning to Paul and Lou. Nests have been destroyed already on the Channel Islands compared to just 12 nests in the whole of last year. This is bad. I don't like flying insects. I hate big black flies. I don't like wasps. I certainly don't like giant Asian... An inch! That's that long. They're huge and fat, these things. Oh, God knows how they manage to fly. The warm spring, followed by rainy weather, is perfect for breeding. Asian hornets also devastate native wildlife, especially bees, one expert said. They are a threat to biodiversity. So keep an eye out for those. I don't know how good the sprays are. I mean, I bought 2 cans of fly spray the other day from Aldi. They're about £1.69 or something like that. One for downstairs, one for upstairs. And it says sprays on contact. So I haven't tested it out yet. I must test it out soon. I shall leave my windows open in the hope that a fly will enter my bedroom at some point today. I'll get the spray and see how quickly it dies. Now, would it be the same for wasps? And what about giant Asian hornets, which are on their way here now, boys and girls? Be afraid. Be afraid. Ugly things as well. Have you looked at a hornet? Ugly. Type it in. Giant Asian hornet. Don't look at it just before bed. You won't be able to sleep. John, Cadbury's chocolate is the best. I would say Galaxy chocolate is better than the Cadbury's, but Cadbury's is close to it. I used to be a big Cadbury's fan, and there's something changed with it. It started to taste slightly different. Bloody Americans mucked around with it, didn't they? They bought it. They bought Cadbury's. What are you doing to our chocolate, dear? You got your Hershey's. Leave ours alone, please. Adrian, Chris is going to the gym. Okay, bye-bye. Have a nice time at the gym, all right? Mike, I quite like Aldi's economy chocolate. 30p a bar. Oh, I haven't tried that, Mike. Oh, I might be tempted to get a little bar of chocolate later. Might be tempted. I can't have biscuits either. Biscuits to me are very similar to bread, you see, and they start giving me acid problem again. But chocolate on its own is probably all right. Good. Right, shall we do one more little story? Oh, have we been talking that long? Gosh, time goes so quickly when I'm enjoying myself. It really does. There were no texts coming in this morning, so apologies. It seemed to be a bit of a problem with all the message systems this morning. No text, so if you have sent a text in, it hasn't got to me at all, I'm afraid, all right? Where are we now? This is the story, the last story of the day. I like this. This is nice. In the Daily Mail this morning, dogs. Dogs have evolved muscles around their eyes to look cute to humans. You know those dog eyes? Like that. Am I any good at dog eyes? And they look sad, don't they? Little dog eyes. And you just have to give them one of your biscuits, don't you? Don't give dogs chocolate, for Christ's sake. My sister's got two beautiful dogs. And Bison, who is this massive Rottweiler. You would cross the road if you saw him, right? But he's so soft and he sits there with those little doggy eyes. Oh, we love dogs. Dogs have evolved muscles around their eyes to look cute to humans, scientific research has shown for the first time. The muscles allow dogs to raise quizzical eyebrows, and to look sad, giving them facial expressions similar to our own. The authors say that the eyebrow-raising movements triggers a nurturing response in humans. They make the dog's eyes appear larger and more childlike. Oh, bless little doggies. Scientists say the evolutionary step took around 33,000 years, dating back from when our ancestors first started to domesticate wolves. This is considered a rapid change. Oh, excuse me, hiccups. A rapid change in evolutionary terms, and is the only example of an animal whose facial expressions have changed as a result of domestication. Even cats do it as well, don't they? So, although not so much. I would say not so much with the cats. It means that dogs are able to show more human-like eye expressions than even our closest relative in nature, the chimpanzee. It's good, isn't it? Maybe they'll continue to evolve to talk to us soon. That'd be quite nice. You know, won't have to waste time trying to chat up an unreasonable human anymore, will we? We can just go and talk to our dogs. I mean, a lot of us do anyway. I talk to my mates' cats. I love to talk to animals. They don't give you any abuse at all, do they? Well, sometimes the cat lashes out, doesn't it? It always amazes me how, cats wake up. They go from fast asleep to fully alert and awake in the space of like a quarter of a second, don't they? There's none of that waking up slowly like some of us do. Is it time to get up? Oh, I just sleep a little bit longer. No, a cat can wake up, boom, and it's there. Especially if you touch its tail or other parts of its body. Paul and Lou, my auntie, worked at Cadbury's in Birmingham for 25 years. She hated it when Kraft took over and they changed everything. Yes, well, Kraft, they said they were going to keep the factory and they closed the damn thing down, didn't they? Dreadful, really, dreadful. Paul and Lou didn't get a notification. Did you get a notification, Joanna? Or JP? People are complaining they didn't get notification. There's an awful lot of stuff not working this morning, isn't there? Oh, dear. LaBelle, I would be in such trouble if you gave me sad Emerald Isles. Like this. Like that, LaBelle. What? Yeah, look, there's a new website. I want to have a look at that. Dr. SRS has got a new charity website, www.srs.charity. Right, have a look at that. Okay, gang. Let's do our birthdays on this Tuesday, the 18th of June, 2019. 12 birthdays today. Here we go. Martin Rutherford. Good morning, Martin. Happy birthday to the delightful Martin Rutherford. Good morning to you. John Kearney is a big Doctor Who fan, 39 today. Getting older, dear. It gets better as you go over 40, and that's not a joke. It really does get better as you go over 40. You lose all that young foolishness that we all had. Good morning, John. Happy birthday to you. Jenna Fowler. Morning, Jenna. Love the hat. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, Joanna. Did get a notification for the show. Thank you very much, Joanna. So it is working. James Weech is 34 years old today. Happy birthday, James. George Ramsey, 62 years old. He works in Benidorm, actually. A lovely, lovely man who used to come along to the karaoke at Belush's London Bridge. And he's a straight-up Yorkshire lad. He's such a nice bloke. He really, really is a very nice man. I hope all's going well for you, George, and hopefully I'll come out to Benidorm at some point and perhaps make a little visit to you. Happy birthday to you. Lear Sherry. Good morning, Lear. 36 today. I work with her at Belush's in Hammersmith. The Belush's group that I worked with, that was a fantastic job. It really was. I'd done several of their venues, my favourite being London Bridge, followed very closely by Hammersmith. And I was with the group for about 6 years altogether, 6 to 7 years altogether, doing their karaoke and some DJing as well. And I loved it there. Young people who were always up for a good night out. It was just fantastic. From all over the world, these people were. They used to come and stay in the hostel upstairs and then come down and have a bit of a drink and a sing-song. It was great. Happy birthday, Leah. Andrea Ricky, today is 45 years old. Good morning. Colin White, happy birthday to you. Thomas O'Brien, hello, Thomas. Thomas, one of our old Black Cap customers. Good morning, Thomas. I hope you're well, sir. Happy birthday to you. What, are you 40 yet? You must be getting close to 40 now, are you? Happy birthday, Thomas. Chris Gelderfield is 51 years old today. And, that's it. Leah's got another profile there. So, happy birthday to you all, boys and girls. Let me sing a little song. Are you ready with your earplugs, Joanna? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. There's a little bit too much echo on there, maybe. All right. John, have you seen The Secret Life of Pets 2? No, it's hilarious. No, I haven't. Is that a cartoon type thing? I don't know what that is. Secret Lights of cartoon. I got LaBelle with my sad look there, didn't I? Thanks ever so much, gang. That's it for the show today. Hopefully I'll see you again at some point tomorrow. Tonight, as I say, I'll be hosting... not hosting, but pushing the buttons for the very delightful Victoria Spuns for our Drag Idol semi-final, Drag Idol National semi-final, which tonight is at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. And hopefully that'll all go all right. Starts about 8 o'clock, or at least I'll be there starting from 8 o'clock. I'm not sure of the exact time for the show, but it will be a very, very busy night. I did ask someone for permission to stream it, but they haven't. They said they'd ask someone, and no one's got back to me. So don't hold your breath on that one, all right, my darlings. Thanks very much for watching and listening. Have a lovely Tuesday, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.